Ryan's first sentence in his reply tweet says, "Yo, dog, you know what it is with me and you." That's what the very first sentence says. Anything after that, I understand.
Banana.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. So Clark said sometimes it stinks how much the conversation is outside of basketball and not the product on the floor, and the amazing players that are on the floor, and how good they are for their teams, and how great this season has been for the women's basketball. She went on to say that I'm not on social media, so I don't see a lot of it, but you would be surprised. I still have my TV on in my house, and I'm watching sports. You are still aware of it, and you still see it. Other than that, my focus is basketball. But yeah, I try to block it out. I don't have social media on my phone. I don't go on it. I don't see a lot of it, but I don't really think it's that different from when I was in college. Everybody is going to have their opinion, and everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and that's just what it is. I think you've just got to be focused on what's in your locker room, what's in your organization, how your teammates feel, how your coaches feel, and for me that's my focus. But also I have a job to do at the same time, so that's where my focus remains.
Share it? Oh.
Anyway,
120 suicide.
the other pieces that I wanted y'all opinion on, and this might get controversial, I don't know, is the aftermath with Ryan Clark and RG3. Because
now this is juicy.
Because Ryan Clark, well, no, it starts with RG3 analyzing the whole situation we just described, particularly the basketball part of it, and deciding that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. That was his analysis. Yeah, he said Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, and he said, I got 5 or 6 examples of this. You can see from the foul, you can see the way she responded, that it's personal, she hates him, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. That was the RG3 analysis. Ryan Clark, his colleague at ESPN, responds and basically says RG3, I'm paraphrasing, but RG3 is full of shit. He's wrong, and the reason he doesn't understand what happened and the reason he has this analysis is because he goes home to a white woman, or he doesn't go home to a black woman, and so he doesn't understand black women, how they think, their emotions, etc. That's the gist of Ryan Clark's analysis,
which was a valid point. Which was a
good.
You said it's whack.
I was whack and dismissive. You don't know that just because he goes on to, he got white sisters, he got black sisters. Yeah. He can have all these other women that are black in his life and still get and understand what they're going through. I don't like how you just go right off and dismiss somebody's shit just because of who they go home to.
Mm-hmm. I think you can.
I think that's ass.
I think you could look at people and tell. If we having an honest talk,
you could look at somebody
and tell. It's going to a white girl. Don't nobody look at. Well, I don't look at him and think.
A lot of them do. That's the point.
I think more fairly. I think more fairly. He said he works with them.
They don't know.
He said he works with them and has conversations.
But I think this though.
Well, hold on, because I just want to give Ice, because even if Ice is right. RC went on to say that while they work together, he has overheard RG3 saying shit like, whether he was joking or not, boy, I love milk. Mm-hmm. I love this milk. Making a whole lot of I love milk.
He's been posting that on Twitter for.
We've seen him on Twitter behave in that way for a while. So I think when somebody behaves like that,
but I think
let me do this real quick. Let me read what he actually said, so we all on the same page, so we can be honest about what he said. When RG3 jumps onto the hate train or the angry train, it now follows what we saw from Keith Olbermann and David Portnoy as they poured onto Angel Reese to make her a villain and Caitlin Clark heroic. The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what black women have to endure in this country, about what young black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom. If you're RG3, when was the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what Angel Reese is dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. And then he goes on and on and on. And then this is the part that you just said. When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady. I've had a conversation with her. I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what black women deal with a lot from black men who have chose to date or marry outside of their race. So I'm just saying, I just think that context is important.
Yeah, very important. Yeah. Very important. Okay. I do get that.
Does that change how you feel about what Ryan Clark said?
Yeah. Now I have more context. Yes. Because the way you said it first, I'm like, that don't necessarily.
And that's why I feel like I wasn't exactly saying it right. That's why I wanted to read it first.
Yeah. But he went in because he know him, he worked with him, and gave some extra backstory.
No, he's been for a long time, actually.
RG3
Like RG3 he's been saying some wild
he take
shit
that
for a long
Whitlock
time.
approach to a lot of that shit a lot.
Yeah. If you go home to a white woman, you go home to a white woman. But RG3 is doing something else, according to Ryan. I don't know RG3, but according to Ryan Clark, he's doing something else. He's like this. It's almost like he wants to be with her because she's white, or he's obsessed with whiteness. Remember when Hubert Davis got the
fetishized
job
for
at
whiteness,
UNC?
it sounds like.
He was like, "I'm proud that my wife is white," which is different than "I love my wife and she just happens to be white." Right? I'm proud that she's white is a different thing.
I agree.
And I think
they caught my man Hubert Davis lacking on that one.
yeah, and I don't think he meant it the way he said it.
I don't think he did either.
But he said it, and I definitely went in at the time. But you know, if he said, "Look, I didn't mean it that way," I'd accept it.
Why you ain't give him grace?
He don't give grace.
I give grace all the time, but I don't.
No, seriously.
I don't know. I don't
Hubert
know.
Davis, I'm certain he was nervous. His alma mater, fucking Dean Smith, was there for however long. Like Roy Williams, whoever he took the fucking job from. But I'm saying, you know that he's nervous sitting there having to give that speech. He shouldn't have said it. I don't ride with what he said, but I know that he was nervous. Thank you.
That's fair. That's fair. But just to not lose sight of this, my question would be still, even if that's true, even if RG3 is obsessed with whiteness and his white wife and all of that, does that still mean that he doesn't have the ability to understand Angel Reese or black women? He's had a black mom. He probably has black siblings, maybe black sisters. I don't know. He's certainly been around black women. I mean, even if all that's true, it seems like the wife part might become almost like a easy, I don't call it cheap shot, but he could say he's not tuned into black women's experiences without doing the home thing, because I think the home thing becomes a distraction.
I think anytime you involve people's wife and kids, you're running the risk of looking away. And Ryan Clark is amazing.
Yeah, and I love Ryan.
And I like the sentiment in a lot of things he said, but I think that some of the jabs in the family realm were a little.
It gets a little muddy.
You lose some of the audience unnecessarily.
Yeah,
yeah.
That wasn't necessary. He could have just.
Even though I think he's right. I think he's right about RG3 based on what I've seen from RG3,
True.
not because of who his wife is. I'm saying RG3 does a lot of cornball shit. RG3 does a lot of shit where he seems obsessed with whiteness and white people and showing the world how connected to white people he is. And that makes me think he might not be empathetic to black women. If you were married to a black woman, I would say that, based on what I've seen from
That's
RG3.
what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that who he is and how he's been representing himself over the last decade and a half, he just seemed like a corny dude that'll say some funny shit, or he might think like that. Because a couple things it's a lot of black people, fam, that feel like I'm better than that. It's a lot of black people that look at her like a ghetto girl.
Who?
Angel. That are critiquing her and dissing her too. You get what I'm saying? So I think, I'm telling you,
he's right.
You're wrong, Joe.
He's right.
It's a lot of black women dissing her. So what I'm saying is, I think that RG3 just came in on some goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? I think even if he was married to a black woman, his type of black woman still might be a black woman that we might look at like, I just think he's one of the black niggas that sit on the other side of the gate.
I want to reply to that, Couch, saying that. I'm not arguing that that black women are not dissing Angel Reese.
Okay.
I don't think I haven't heard or seen highlighted a diss from a black person that's in the same realm as the Dave Portnoy comments.
I didn't hear Dave.
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's the same degrees.
Absolutely.
What I'm saying is that there are black people that sit on the other side of that gate and feel like, yo, dog, look at these Donald Trump supporting, heavy supporting black people that come out and say a whole bunch of dumbass shit in support of Trump. You could be a black Republican and not say some of that shit that they be saying. So I think that at RG3, he just I guess like a goofy nigga that be just saying bullshit fam, we got friends that be like, yo, if it ain't snowing, I ain't going.
That's a fact.
We have them that come up here to be like, yo, if it ain't snowing, I ain't going. If it ain't white, it ain't right. They say that shit up here. Joe?
I don't have friends that say that.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
No. There's one person that says that.
All right.
That's not friends. That paints
Plural.
a very different picture. There's one
I
nigga that say that shit.
I'm just saying, but what I'm saying is, I'm just saying
and
that.
we can get into how some of them Dominicans feel.
True. I'm not disagreeing.
When Dominicans get into their bag, I try to let them.
A lot of goofy blacks feel like that too. Especially once they've ascended to a certain level, they feel like everybody out over there is over there. So I just think he a goofy nigga regardless if his chick was white or black or purple. I think he's just a corny, goofy nigga.
Nah, I can't even give him that because I think part of his chick, part of him being that way is because his chick is white. That's why he went after her. That's why he went after the one before her. He only wants that because he feels in some way that that's better.
He a corny, goofy nigga.
Yeah, but it ain't no if his girl was
from.
It's not no if his girl was black. He wouldn't even go to black because he looks at it as beneath.
Oh, good point. I see what you're saying. That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I agree. That's a good point.
Yeah, and it becomes problematic when those are the black voices picked to chime in to represent Black matters.
Well, see, that's a whole nother conversation because that's why they picking them voices.
But we also have to stop.
That's true too.
Although nobody asked that nigga to say anything.
That's true.
No, but even when they do, they know they go to certain folk who know they're gonna play it.
He's
and
like,
say
he can handle football stuff.
I think a lot of people
they could leave him at football stuff.
I'm not talking about this guy, but I think a lot of people dismiss others because of their who they choose to be with or their partner, and I think that we have to stop that. Just because somebody,
No, I don't like that.
Yeah, just because somebody has a white girlfriend, that doesn't mean you don't stand with black or black power or you're not aware of what's going on in our community. You come from that. We come from that. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of times people use that to weigh the scale on who to take serious or who can speak on something. I think that's whack.
You can't tell people how to judge people though.
But I just think it's whack though.
It may be whack.
You can't tell people how to judge people. But I think
I judge them people.
Because I stand. My wife is Indian.
Wait,
hold on. Listen.
Everywhere in America, they're judging you based off your significant other as well.
They judge you based off everything.
That's not just if you have.
They shouldn't though.
But those who judge you.
If Flip was
my wife is an Indian woman, right? But I'm not. You can't. I come from where I come from. I understand it. I just fell in love with who I fell in love with. Mm-hmm. If you judge me on that, you're an idiot. Because I'm outside, I'm in the trenches, and I get back to the communities, and I understand the struggle. And me, I do. Why I said for?
I was saying to something you said right before that. I was wanting something.
You don't think you can fall in love with who you fall in love with?
I think you can, but sometimes that's an excuse. Like I'll give you an example. RG3 is probably saying, I just happen to fall in love with two white. We're not talking about you. I'm not criticizing you.
No, but let's talk about because I don't want to talk about RG3. We already described it. Let's talk about.
I'm just saying in general terms. Okay. I think people say that, and sometimes it's true, and sometimes that becomes the excuse, or it becomes a way of convincing yourself that you don't have certain like deep seated commitment. Wait, hold on. That's all I'm saying.
Can I ask you a question? And I don't. Is your wife black and Spanish, or she's fully Spanish?
She's a black Puerto Rican.
A black Puerto Rican. Cool. When I watch you, aren't you teaching your son to speak Spanish? Isn't that your thing?
Yeah.
That don't take away from your contributions or how you feel about black women or.
But she is a black woman.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I got it. Okay. Yeah. So that's not a good example. But what I'm saying is that there's some people out there.
But let's say she were white.
Yeah.
But she's not. It wouldn't be for me. But let's say she were. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's unreasonable for somebody to say that shapes how they see me, right? But my point is even bigger than that. Is I'm just saying if every woman I dated was white,
okay,
and I just keep falling in love. I just keep falling in love. It's like if a woman said, I just happen to keep meeting NFL players. Right?
Yeah, we don't be letting that ride.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like at some point, you got a type.
But but your type shouldn't take away how you feel about your people.
I disagree with that.
Really?
I disagree with that.
Let me ask you a question.
But you wrote, but you be a hypocrite.
I'm a hypocrite.
But that I don't like when you do that though, because when you do that, it becomes dismissive. We can't have the discussion.
But we can still have the discussion
because you should.
Listen, I fall on the side of you're being judged by your partner. That's my blanket statement.
You can be judged, but
no matter who your partner.
You shouldn't take away your contribution or what you do or what you believe in. That's what I'm saying.
Depends on what your contribution is.
Yeah, I disagree.
Okay, discuss it.
If I'm what's the disagreement? No, it probably doesn't shape my contribution, right? But if I'm fighting for racial justice,
and I have a white wife, and I'm fighting for racial justice, and she's out there with me every day. And I'm not just saying
a white wife. That's why I made a point and said like a pattern. If my whole social circle is white, if all my partners are white,
that's different. That's different. I got you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like at some point, like your choices matter, and they're not just random. Yeah. They're informed by something. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with
even if, and the question to both of you, even if your white wife or whomever is out there with you in the struggle, is out there like while you're fighting for social justice, is with you along the way. Does that still take away from your contribution?
For me, we don't even have to keep saying wife. My experience in this is with the opposite of black women being in black spaces, kicking black, extra blackety black shit.
Yes.
With white husbands that you couldn't mention on air, that they couldn't be seen with, they couldn't pop up. It was like a covert thing. I've seen that multiple times.
But why you think that is? Because because you would take it. First of all, it's hard to be a woman in the field, and on top of that, you would discredit her and her contributions because she has a white husband. So they have to hide it. You wouldn't. Not only they're not taking them serious initially, but you would even give her a more excuse not to take her serious. Yo, you got a white husband, you can't talk that shit. But it should not take away from her contributions to what she's feeling about the struggle or. Help me, Wong.
I think you're articulating yourself perfectly. I just disagree.
It will and it does.
I agree.
It will and it does.
It shouldn't, but the truth is, it does.
Okay, I think it should. I think that's where
it should.
I think it should.
I disagree.
I think it should.
Why do I disagree?
You or Ice, I don't care. Anybody.
I disagree because who are we to set the standard on what is important to somebody else? Again, I think if we start talking about pro-black issues, right? Because that's what we're talking about. So I'm gonna stay here. Somebody could be black with a black wife and black children and don't do shit for outside black people. They don't do a fucking thing. They selfish. They don't do nothing for nobody else. And then you can have somebody, a man and his white wife that spend tons of time. We're not even gonna get into money. We're gonna talk about time because time is more important. It's niggas that got their feet on the ground, helping people, helping other people progress in our neighborhoods that those same black people with a black wife and black kids don't do a fucking thing for. So when you look at that and you look at the actual acts and you look at the actual time being given, who is giving more to the black community in that particular instance?
See, I don't think that's in direct response to what I'm saying.
It's not?
How? Because go ahead.
You can go.
Because I don't think no one is saying that the only people that should be judged is the black person who's dating a white woman. So the black person who's married to a black person doesn't do shit. They should be judged too. On their
exactly.
Action.
But
hear me out.
I'm not calling that person pro-black.
I'm not saying that they are.
No,
what I'm saying is that there are people that act like they are.
Yeah.
And you not pro-black just because you got a black family, and the people that might be a mixed family that are doing mad shit and doing giving mad contributions, you can't say that they're not.
Right. So my argument isn't that. First, my argument isn't that everybody who's in an all-black family is pro-black.
I'm not saying, that's not what I said.
I know you didn't say that. I'm responding to what you said. Just hear me out fully. So I'm saying that in the same way that I make a judgment against the person who's black who chooses a white partner or white partners, I'm also making a worse judgment to the black person who's with a black person that doesn't do shit. They get the worst judgment from me.
You're not addressing what I'm talking about. Address the family.
You'll see how it connects if you let me finish, I promise. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the black person with the white person that is doing a lot, they also get a judgment from me. A positive judgment. I think that they're doing extraordinary work, and I would call them pro-black. I'm just saying that it's a demerit for me. You know, not that it doesn't. I'm not throwing away the black person with a white partner, and I'm not embracing the black person with a black person that doesn't do shit. I'm saying though it is a factor. Ice often talks about like the Madden scores. I'm just saying that bar. On that
slider,
the slider, that just goes down on the slider for me.
So you don't believe that you can just meet somebody and fall in love with them no matter what race they are?
Yeah, I think you can.
Even if you were pro-black, you just meet a lady and you fall in love with her. That you had black girlfriends your whole life or a black ex-wife, and you met somebody and you fell in love with them. You don't feel like
I believe
that can happen?
I believe that some of these people, they wouldn't allow themselves to fall in love with a white person. I believe that some of these people, no matter how great the white woman might be,
watch Guess Who's Coming Home. Watch Guess Who's Coming Home for Dinner. Sidney Poitier.
So I think that a lot of people, again, no matter how dope the person would be, they would just not do it. You get what I'm saying? Like they would fight. They would fight it not to do it. And so I think that if that's in your bag and you're not open to it, you're just not open to it. Everybody, like some people have Ice has a preference of some. I'm not dissing.
Go ahead. I ain't saying nothing.
Ice got a preference of petite women.
Yeah.
Right. So Ice could potentially meet a woman that is bigger. Ice wouldn't allow himself to go down that road. So he wouldn't even know that this woman is just an amazing, super duper dope ass person. Ice is not going to open himself up. That's fair?
That's fair.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
I think
I'm
that's
not
right.
shitting on Ice. That's just, I know Ice, so I know his preferences.
Yeah.
I think that some people won't allow themselves.
Whoa. That's crazy to say. I know we be immature.
Why is it crazy, Joe?
Go ahead.
No,
I ain't
we
gonna be immature
we
right
can't
now.
do that.
That's a wild. Hey, yo, I know what the preference is.
Yeah, I heard it too. I was just trying to. I was trying to stay locked in.
Joe.
That's why I stay locked in. I ain't going.
I'm sorry. I ain't
What's
mean-
wrong with you,
That
man?
was-
He prefers petite.
No, it just sounds.
That's cool.
You're
an
paid.
idiot.
I know, but y'all.
I just think like
got paid.
I just think that, like, give you an example, like Jane Fonda.
Okay, I'm listening.
You know where I'm going, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Jane Fonda was a huge financial supporter of the Black Panther Party.
Huge.
A lot of people don't know that. Huge financial supporter of the Black Panther Party. So this is in the 60s, 70s, where that shit was like blasphemy at that point in time. So do you now say Jane Fonda wasn't pro-black?
Again,
You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm just giving examples.
He just said it.
I judge somebody.
He
It's
just
just knock the slider down a little bit. You're not going to be a 99 overall. You might be a
I
96.
just feel like it's still.
I also
I'm
don't
judging
think
somebody-
pro-black means the same thing for white people and black people.
exactly.
I don't think that means the same thing at all. Whoop-de-doo, Jane Fonda fucking donated some shit to the Black Panther Party. What it means for her to be pro-black and what it means for a black person to be pro-black, I don't view the same at all.
That's possible.
Okay.
I think everybody makes that up for themselves.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I think that like I'm judging people based on who the person is. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's it. Like, and I think that more of us should do that. I think that sometimes when we don't get judged based on who we are, we find it offensive. Right?
Yeah,
like, we find it offensive
and
we
become
get
part of the problem.
irate. We get super
because
irate
we want change. We do want change. We talk about change and then
without changing.
yeah, without changing. And I'm not saying dating outside your race, but I just said we want
Even
change.
that sounded racist to me.
What?
We want change without changing. Something sounds off about that to me.
It's not. No, it's not.
I'm just telling you how it sounds to me.
You become part of the problem if you. What's the word when you exclude people? Ostracize. What's the word?
Ostracize.
But I don't want to ostracize people. I just don't want to. I think that part of black liberation has to come with building black community and black families.
I agree.
Okay, I agree with that.
And
100%.
I think that that's very difficult to do if we're not even looking at our looking for partners inside of our community. And it's not just women. I mean, I hear black gay men talk about this all the time. They say that a lot of the other black gay men, particularly when I talk like academics,
Yeah.
they say a lot of the black gay men who they would want to date are dating white men, Latino, you know, white Latinos, not black Latinos. Like, they're looking outside too. So it's not just even a gender thing. It's that part of white supremacy is teaching us that we're not good enough.
Good enough.
Okay.
And so our success is to go outside. And so I'm skeptical. And so that's my skepticism of people. Again, I know people who have bogeys. You know, they got. I don't frame it like that, but where there's
bogeys,
where there's one person. You know, there's one exception to the rule. I get that. But I find that sometimes when you look, I mean, there are some prominent black intellectuals.
So black people are the only people running around even to have the freedom to do this shit that we're talking about. Them other people is having different conversations in their households, and it ain't even their decisions, up to the parent. So don't you bring no nigga in here. Don't you bring no person that's not Chinese, Asian, white, Jewish. They
Right.
they just strict with it. We out here trying to be, the
Right.
fuck out
The
of
Rainbow
here.
Coalition.
Yeah, get
Right.
this shit the fuck
We
out of
get
here.
at the bottom of the ladder.
They don't let none of that shit happen. They'll have a meeting every month. They'll go pick.
So who the black people dating? Who the Asian people dating? Like, if you're saying that the black people, other ethnicities aren't allowing it, how are white people dating so many people outside their race? And Asian women or black men are the two biggest demographics that are dating outside their race.
And here's why, because you make a great point. But part of it is that when Asian women date white men, they're perceived as marrying up. So they said don't bring.
Are they
niggas.
fucking with the blacks too?
Yeah, but not nearly at the same rate. The families.
I don't know the percentages. I'm just telling you, though. Those two things are factual.
And it's also which Asians. You know, like Cambodians are dating and Hmong are dating black men far more than like Koreans and Japanese.
Filipinos.
Yeah, exactly. But the idea basically is we want to preserve our race or uplift our race. We're going to preserve our race by being with our people. We're going to uplift our race by getting white men. You know what I mean? And I think that's part of the equation.
And that's why that one friend that y'all mentioned talks like that.
I don't know what you mean. One friend.
The one friend that y'all said, if it ain't white, whatever.
It ain't snowing, ain't
That's
going.
why they talk like that.
I think that's more than
It's
just.
literally what I think it is.
That's a. Yes, I'm agreeing with you. Look, I'm thinking about it. I'm agreeing with that. What I'm saying is, it's this misconception that if you date outside your race, you are viewing your race as less than. That's a misconception, because I don't think white people are better than black people at all. And my girlfriend is white, and I don't think white people I mean, if you look at it in its entirety, can hold a candle to black people. So I don't feel that way. It's nothing insecure about me. I'm 49 years old. I've dated black women my whole entire life. I don't look at white women like they're better than black women. That's a misconception, and I also think that's a dismissive view of how we take something and just drop it in the water. Oh, he must have got self-hate or some other dumb bullshit that people say.
Mommy issues.
But when you talk like RG3,
he's a dodo. He's a dodo.
That's self-hate.
Okay.
He's saying dodo shit. And he's been saying dodo shit. Like, this is who he is. This is who he's proven to be. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Like, so you never heard me say, no, if it ain't snowing, I ain't going to none of that doofy shit.
Antoine, fire.
We ever heard you say some shit like that?
No, I'm just saying.
You can say that to me.
Like, burn.
So let me ask you another. I want to just pivot off this and just ask one more question, which is, should this be out of bounds for your colleague at work? Because remember, RG3 works with Ryan Clark. Because RG3 basically makes a statement saying this is out of bounds. You're not a good teammate. They're saying, now it's a professional thing.
I think if RG3 kept it in a basketball context of basketball,
yeah,
I think that he's well within his right to do so.
Cool. No, I'm talking about Ryan Clark.
I know. No, listen. So if he did that, and then Ryan Clark attacked his personal choices, I think that's unprofessional.
Should ESPN do something about it?
I don't think they should.
I don't think so either. But there's a conversation online about that. Like, they should intervene. They should suspend them. They should punish them. They should.
ESPN is running out of black people.
No, why I think they should suspend them. No, why I think they should suspend them.
You say yes?
I think they should not suspend. I think they should discipline them, because when you flip it, let's say he don't get any repercussions, and then when a white person does the same shit, we'll be calling for their head. You get what I'm saying? So I think that you should keep it.
Oh, you mean like if somebody said like, oh, of course he understands Ja Morant. He goes home to a black woman.
Or some goofy,
she goes
dumb
home
shit.
Right.
Yo, it's easy for Malika Andrews to understand what they're going through. She grew up in Newark. You know what I'm saying? And then we like, what? So we'll be tight if some of that shit were to surface. You get what I'm saying? Rightfully so. So I'm just saying, if I'm RG3 and he expresses any discontent with what Ryan said, then I think they gotta step in. But RG3 might not give a fuck, but
I mean, he wrote a whole dissertation after.
He did?
He's very upset. He pinned it. Go read it. Right above the video of him selling booty enhancements from his wife, saying that it helps end discrimination by showing that white women can have booties too.
I think in man code you're correct. And theoretically, I think you're correct. You shouldn't talk about anybody's wife. Ryan's first sentence in his reply tweet says, "Yo, dog, you know what it is with me and you." That's what the very first sentence says. Anything after that, I understand.
But not in a professional forum.
I still understand.
I understand too.
I still understand.
I understand too. But not did he?
He said it as professionally as you could say it. Yo, and all he did was state facts. He didn't get into how he felt about it. He said, "You've been married twice to white women. This is how you speak about your white wife. I've met her. I think she's more than that." I think that's respectful if you're talking about somebody's wife.
Right. No, he didn't diss his wife.
He's like, you're objectifying your wife, not me.
Yeah, I don't think he dissed his wife
you're
at all.
You're fetishizing her whiteness.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. Yeah. You run around talking about how good the milk is and all the other shit is goofy time.
Because I don't think RG3 ever bagged the baddest milk in the club.
I mean, that's subjective. But what I'm
saying in his life, I'm not talking about his wife right this second. His wife right this second is an attractive woman.
He might have.
I'm saying the way he speaks about her.
International athlete, bro.
Yeah, but niggas be grading on the curve with coming a lot of time white women.
I'm just talking about him and that nigga went to and was him in college. So he had to pick of the litter in some of these high school colleges that got 30,000, 40,000.
Don't make me go back to the RG3 draft and see who was sitting next to him.
No,
because I'll go look.
I'm talking about who he might have had in college. Man, them white girls go crazy over black athletes in college.
Yeah, but I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know him. I don't know his wife. I don't know nothing about him. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens with it. I don't think a suspension is coming, especially since so much of it happened off air.
Oh, it happened off air.
Yeah, because like some of it's on like their platforms, their streams. You know, they're on
that's
Twitter.
See, that's different. This wasn't. I thought he did that on the show.
No, Ryan did it on
Ryan did it on the pivot.
On the pivot.
Oh, so that's
Ryan did it on his show.
So it's their show. No, so so it's fine.
I don't see no suspension tonight now.
I don't think nothing.
I know we've been on sports related topics for a while. I did want to let you guys know that I went to my stepson's fucking
game in Boston.
like some football camp. He asked me to go, so I went.
Dope.
That's good, Joe.
Very dope.
Mom's been asking me to go for mad. Oh, he really wants you to see him? Shut up.
It's different when the
It's
kid
different
asks.
when the kid hits you himself and says, "Yo, I need you to come to my.
Gotta show up.
I need you to come to my ABC camp or whatever the fuck the camp was. Under Armour. I don't fucking know, but it was right there in Massachusetts. So, fuck it, let's go. Hopped in the car. Didn't fly because Newark Airport still has me scared.